All right, you are now tuned in to the Rotated Views podcast. I am your host, Jimmylee Velez. I'm here with Gabe, Heck, and Wyll. Hard City Raindrops Part 2. In this episode, we have special guest Wyll, and we cover topics that range from vlogging, captivating content, side hustles, a balanced life, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Orison Marden and Tom Abbott. Guys, if you're new, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to download and subscribe. We drop a new episode every Tuesday morning for your listening pleasure. Kicking things off, Wyll, thanks for joining us, man.
Hello, everyone.
So, Wyll, you've been with us one time before, right? You're here on episode 131. So thank you for joining us again. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, so for those of us who do not know who you are and what you do, well, first I'll say don't forget to listen to episode 131 because it's kind of like a updated version. Obviously, the reason why we call it the part 2. So let us know who you are and what you do.
I am a YouTuber and also a podcaster. Hard City Raindrops is the YouTube channel. Also an engineer. Now, when I was here last time, I was still doing body work, paint work. And I recently changed jobs to mechanical engineer.
Nice.
So that's career change. But other than that, I'm just create content and have fun while I'm doing it.
Absolutely. All right, so we're gonna jump right into it. I'm very fascinated with the whole vlogging thing, and more importantly for me, it's more like, so it's been about a year, right?
Yeah.
And maybe a little over a year. A little over a year. And the biggest thing in my opinion, is with anything is repetition and consistency, right? And just being able to have constant content. And that's probably one of the hardest things for people. And not only that, kind of staying within your niche, right? What, in your opinion, how does one do it to stay consistent?
Well, for me, it's in the beginning, it was real hard to figure out like what I wanted to do because I am interested in everything and I do so many different things. So since I couldn't really figure that out, I just decided to vlog, and it would be easier that way. If I could just, whatever I was doing that day, I'm just gonna make a video about it. But then it became like, all right, well, there's a fine line between creating and then vlogging. There's a big difference. Vlogging, it's kind of just your daily life, and when you're creating something, you have to think about it. It's premeditated. You're kind of you're creating something, so it's a lot harder to create.
There's a little more production value goes into that.
Yeah, it's and it takes a while. Vlogging, you're just kind of like, all right, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing next. Now I'm here. Now I'm there, and you just kind of follow along. Those videos are hard to do because you film all day, and then it's like, it could be 2 hours of film for a 10-minute video. And then the editing can be excruciating. You're just like, oh my God, when is it over? And then you're like watching yourself. So it's like, But you pick up things. I've learned to be a better communicator with people. I used to be really shy before I did YouTube. I mean, like I was really shy, head down, whatever, you know, and kid in the club, didn't talk to no one. If we went out, I was just very shy. So I became a better communicator because I've picked up things watching myself, like I used to say in like every sentence, so I got tired of editing out, so I had to like train my brain not to say it after like every 3 or 4 words, so
you just edit out of your brain.
It was you just pick up little things. Even with your hands, you're watching yourself, it's just but staying consistent is a big thing too. You have to. I'm a big fan of like it does matter what it is, but at the same time, if you don't put it out there and just do it, nobody's gonna see you. You know what I mean? So you just kind of gotta get out there and do it.
It's funny too because we get this all the time, and I know I repeat myself in saying it, and I am a huge proponent, not to be cheesy, but just like the whole Nike thing, just do it. It's so true because I've put out stuff that was all jacked up, and I say it all the time. I put out a shirt that spelled my own logo wrong, right? And it was very funny because no one purchased it, thank God, and it was only up for like 2 minutes before I realized it because I saw it on my website, and oh my gosh, I almost fell out of my chair. I was so embarrassed. But it was one of those things like, yeah, but I'm doing it. You know what I mean? I still had the guts to put something out, even though, and like I said, I was burning the candle on both ends, and that was the reason why there's like a little error. I left room for error there. But the fact is that I was still up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, still trying to put something out because I wanted to put out. It was when we just got started, and I was trying to put out something on like a regular basis, something new, a new style, a new tee, a new whatever, and actually, my template was all wrong the whole time. I guess I was just so excited to put something out. I never seen it, but it goes back on the kind of like what you're saying is just put it out there.
Yeah,
just
you gotta
do it,
and you're gonna learn from your mistakes. That's the only way you're gonna get better is when you fail. I mean, I failed so many times, even at the YouTube thing. When I first started, I must have put out 10, 15 videos and deleted them.
Yeah,
put them up, left them, watched them. I deleted it, and then I finally just left it. And just left it be. And I never, ever delete videos now. Recently, I deleted one because I overdid it with the cursing. I took a break for like, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks.
Okay.
And that 2 weeks just put me, it knocks you off your your mojo. It just takes everything away. You can't take a break. I mean, you can, but when you get back into it, you know, I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. That many times. So I deleted that video, but I don't delete content now. I just leave it go. It is what it is.
It's funny when you said, when you hear yourself out like that, or when you're editing, the vlog and stuff. I feel like every time I watch or hear myself or whatever, because I'm my biggest critic, I can't help but cringe.
I'm the same way.
I'm just like, oh my gosh, did I really say that? Do I really look like that? You know what I mean? It's like, it's brutal.
And it's funny because I think it was like my best friend. He told me, he goes, he goes, you watch my videos? He goes, actually, I just kind of put them on play and listen to it in my ear pods or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so you don't watch them, you're just listening.
Yeah.
Which is fine, because that video is more of like an informative one that I was talking about at that time. So I was like, well, maybe I should just do a podcast, and that's how I started getting into it. Because I've had people, I like your voice, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
You do? I'm like, I don't know about it. I don't even want to hear myself talk. I remember being a kid, and like you hear yourself on that voice answer machine or whatever when you're like with your phone. Your phones first came out. And you had to leave like a voicemail. I'm like, you did it like 1,000 times until it was like perfect.
Oh my gosh. Press 2 if you would like to redo this. 2. Oh my gosh. 45 minutes later.
And then it just came out like the song ringtones. It's like, I'll just do that. It's like the song's good.
All right. So what's having a side hustle mean to you?
Well,
because you talked about being, a mechanical engineer and then having, the side hustle of the vlogging and the podcast. What does that look like?
It looks like you don't sleep.
Yeah.
But actually, that's counterintuitive. I always tell people, when people always like, you gotta, sleep when you're dead. To me, that's like one of those, that just doesn't make any sense. You gotta sleep. Yeah. Because you gotta be more productive when you're awake, when you actually get a good amount of sleep. So I go to work. And I schedule it now. I didn't before, but I have to now because I work 7 days a week. Yeah. Most of the month. Yeah. There are times I'm on vacation now, so that's cool. Yeah. But so every day there's a video. I actually released 2 videos today. Download it right now. Nice. I get home from work. So I work a second shift, so I have to do my videos in the morning. Okay. So I'll get up at 6 o'clock every day, and I'll go to the gym for 45 minutes. I bang it out. Yeah. And then I go right into the studio, and I don't usually vlog during the work week. I usually do the vlogs in the summer. Okay. Because that's usually like there's more stuff to do. You're outside. There's stuff going on. I'm either, doing like some kind of yard project. I have that coming up. Or, biking in the city, cycling in the city or whatever. And then the winter, I do more like reviews, just all kinds of different knife reviews, firearms, EDC videos, survival videos. That's big right now, with the whole deal, the survival thing. So that's, people just cringe at it sometimes. But at the same, theirs are always underprepared. Nobody likes to be reminded of their shortcomings. So like when you make a video like that, it just brings out the comments are like, of course, doomsday prepper, all this stuff. But so the side hustle, I really kind of I have to stay focused on my job too. You know what I mean? So it's really, it gets hard But you're not going to get anywhere by just sitting there and thinking about it. Like you just have to do it. So during the week, I make my videos on reviews. So I'll write down whatever I'm going to review, whether it's a pocket knife. I'll try to do like real short videos if I know it's going to be a long day or something. Like it'll be just a video with my phone. Yeah. Sometimes I won't even pull out the camera or the editing system because I started my channel just freestyling, pick up the cell phone and make a video, and whatever it was, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So there was no editing for like the first 2 years at all.
Got it.
And so I kind of went back to that because it's easier and I can do it. I'm good at it.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to just freestyle something. Even my podcast, I just kind of get up there and just ramble. And I've had people like, you get off subject a lot. I'm like, you have no idea. I don't use a message. There's nothing behind me saying, talk about this next. Right. I just like go. Yeah. And if I see something pop on my phone, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. Let's talk about that now. So, but yeah, during the week, I do like real short videos on the phone, and that's kind of how I mix it together. And when I know I'm going to have off, that's when I'll do like a vlog, and I'll kind of take people along with whatever I'm doing. But that's generally in the summer.
Okay.
So winter time's kind of more like reviews and stuff like that. So
yeah. So when I hear like when you get your topics together, they're legit at random, right? Or is it just kind of if you're just like if you're driving into work and you see something like a billboard that just catches your eye or whatever,
right?
Or is it because like with EDC, which is everyday carry for those folks who are not sure what that is?
Yeah.
Is it because you are in that industry? You're like, I'm going to talk about this. I just got a new pocket knife or whatever it is. I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Or a mixture of all of that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mixture, I guess. Nothing really. I kind of already know what I'm going to say, or like I have videos backpiled for months.
Yeah.
I mean, I have stuff that I haven't reviewed from last year that are just like sitting around, like a water filter system or something that you can keep in your backpack or something like that. EDC videos get kind of, you can keep doing them, but they get kind of old.
Okay.
And like you said, people don't know it's everyday carry, and everybody has an EDC.
Yeah.
Everybody carries a phone, a keys, and wallet. That's like the basic, and then you can stretch it out to a knife, to a firearm, whatever, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So those videos, I do them seasonal now. I used to do them a lot, but the gear gets expensive. Like you keep changing things and buying guns and buying knives and stuff, and I'm like, holy crap, how many knives do I need? I'm only going to carry one.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's one that I like. It doesn't leave my pocket for months at a time. I'll rotate stuff,
Sure.
But the EDC videos, they get kind of oversaturated because everybody does them. So I just do like a seasonal winter EDC summer carry because it gets lighter, so stuff like that. But
so we all had this teacher. Well, me, Heck, and Goose, and Manny actually. We had this teacher who, he was one of these guys that was like a prepper before prepping was prepping, I think. I don't know. It was just
before
it
was a mainstream
Before
internet.
It was mainstream, I should say, because people
it's
prepped
been around
forever.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, before it was like people did shows about it or whatever. We didn't know that's what he was doing, but he would tell us, and he'd always tell us, you always got to be prepared. You always got to be prepared. And he had this old school like car, and even still, he always had his trunk packed with stuff, which we called stuff. In his mind, it was literally like life floats, food, just like shovels. He had all kinds of stuff. Now, do you also carry around? And the guy could defend himself. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. Is that something that's just like a lifestyle for you? That is what it is, and then you're just sharing it, or is it like you got into it?
For me, it's something I've always done.
Yeah.
It's funny because everybody's in my. Were you a Boy Scout or something like? It was never a Boy Scout. It was just. I just think it's smart. I'm not one of those crazy.
Were you a Boy Scout?
Yeah,
it's too funny.
I get that comment all the time. Like, yeah, for me, I think there's like different levels of the prepper people, and there's like really crazy doomsday people who like get real into it, and then there's more like the practical guy like I am. I'm just like more like just prepare your family, because there's always going to be a power outage. Yeah, there's always going to be a fire or a hurricane or something that wipes through, and some reason that you're going to need, things that you may not be able to get.
Yeah,
not the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, So like, there's the unpractical thing is like having a million cases of food and 55-gallon drums of water with chlorine tablets and all that, the whole system with all that. For me, it's more like a practical thing. So I don't really get too crazy into it. I have like the bug out bag and stuff, which is like the grab and go kind of deal. I don't bring it everywhere. It's at home.
Okay.
I lay down in all my videos like my EDC bag. I'll bring it with me only if I'm going to be gone for more than like a few hours. Like for now, I'll just bring my little pouch for like my camera and like stuff like that. And, my firearm, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, but like my other bag though has like more, because I'm gone from work for 12 hours. You know, there's like just stuff you might need in there, extra hoodie. Yeah. Maybe I work in a place where your feet get wet and that's going to suck. So socks. You know what I mean? Like just stupid stuff like that. And so that's like pretty much how I do it. I don't get too crazy into like the whole trunk full of like floating devices you're never going to need. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Unless you live by like a place where maybe you might need a float. Sure. Well, it did get a flood here, but nobody needed to like float down the street or anything.
Right. No, for sure.
When the hurricane came.
So like, because that's, you know, like your forte, can you just give us a quick like overview of like a backpack for, let's just say, if you had a power outage for 2 days, what should someone have in that backpack?
Well, so for the backpack's a different situation. The backpack's for bugging out. Okay. The bug out bag is for leaving. Okay. You have to leave. Like, and in that situation, like the situation we find ourselves now in with the virus that we have going around now. Sure. It could get bad, but you're not going to really need a bug out bag unless like 100,000 people are in the hospital. I'm telling everybody, look out for the hospitals. Yeah. If the hospitals get full, that's when things are going to start to get crazy. Yeah. You know, because then people stop going to work, the economy crashes, PICO employees stop going, sanitation stops coming, maybe people at the water treatment plant stop going to work, maybe the water starts shutting off. At that time, you're going to need a bag. Then you're leaving. Yeah. If you live in a big city, if you're bugged out in the middle of nowhere, you don't need to worry about it. Sure. You know, hopefully you have things set aside. If you live out in places like that, you're probably already have that anyway because you need to. Yeah. Yeah. That's like regular life. Yeah. But in the city, sanitation doesn't come for 2 weeks. You're gonna see nasty, sick people, and just so bug out. Get a bag. The bag would have just simple stuff in there. I mean, you know, a fire kit, maybe a couple of things of food. So there's different levels to the bag though too. So there's a 72-hour bag, which is 3 days, and then there's and that would be like more like a get home bag. So it's like 3 days you have max to get where you're going. Okay. Most important thing is water, and then breathing, and then fire. So if you don't have a way to filter water or do anything like that, then you know that's got to be number one in the bag. And then you would go to like maybe like an N95 mask or some kind of way to breathe if the air is contaminated or there's a lot of dust or fire or whatever the case is. Maybe like a nuclear, so if it was nuclear, maybe you have radiation tablets or something, or a gas mask. Depends on, there's so many different variables. Yeah, for sure. It depends on how far you want to take it. You can go all the way and have hazmat suits and everything, you know. So for me, I just keep it simple: water, fire, air, and that's pretty much it. You know? And there's the 72-hour, and then there's a bug out bag, which would be like long term, 1 year in living out of a bag in like the middle of nowhere. So you need like a sleep system and stuff like that in there. Maybe like extra thermals, maybe a tent. Maybe I use just what's it called, hammock. Okay. Just real simple. Yeah. And then also if you have an animal, I have a dog, so she has a bug out bag too, which like straps on her and has like little pouches. That's so awesome. I'm not like carrying the dog's food. She can carry, she can carry her food. So I have videos on all that stuff though too. So if people want to check out, the channel, they can look up any one of those videos. They're all on there.
It's interesting.
Yeah, there's so many levels to it. It's just I can go for hours. Sure. You can really get.
Down a little rabbit hole there.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so speaking of the podcast and stuff, what's your favorite part about it? Right? I mean, is it because you get to share with people? Maybe it's the teaching aspect. What's your favorite part about vlogging, podcasting?
I think the teaching part is probably the biggest part about it. I feel like now, in the beginning, it was kind of just like for fun, but now getting a lot more subscribers.
Yeah.
And people are commenting and emailing me like, your video helped me so much and all this stuff. So it's like that part of it is like all I need,
Yeah.
That's what keeps me going. Like when people say that stuff, and I get them. I get hate ones too.
Sure.
But you got to block those ones out. But it's when you actually truly help someone and teach them something and they take something from that.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest thing for me. That's what I like the most about it. So yeah, I guess it would be the teaching, because I do like to be like a prepared man and be just a better man than you were yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't have kids or anything like that.
Sure.
Or I'm not married, but I like to preach to guys that maybe aren't so aware of these things to get home bags prepared for every one of your kids,
Sure.
stuff like that. So people do it though too. They watch my videos and are like, maybe I should just get a bag set up for everyone, and they do it. And they send me pictures, and they're like, they got like 4 bags. I'm like, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just, something happens, you grab it, and you're out. Go on.
Nice. I like it. All right, cool. So how important is it to have captivating content, right? And we talk about this, I guess, regularly, because I think it's important, because should everyone have a podcast? I'm not sure. Should everyone have a vlog? I'm not sure. But what I am sure is I know you need to have content that's captivating in a sense. Is it going to be the most spectacular? Does it have to be the most spectacular thing? No, but I think you have to have at some level, it has to be captivating to someone to some extent.
Yeah.
And it has to be a continuous flow of content. Otherwise, you are the one-hit wonders of the world, right? Everyone knows someone had a captivating song and it lasted for 20 years, but that's all that person ever came out with. Sure. It's the same thing with content when it's podcasting, vlogging. You probably had a killer video or a killer podcast for that one thing, but you could not follow up for whatever reason. Maybe it was a lucky stroke. You don't want to be the one-hit vlogger or the one-hit podcaster.
No, they're out there for sure.
They are, for sure, and they're just known for that one thing. How does one, what's the importance of, continuous content that's, captivating?
I think the storytelling is the biggest thing.
Absolutely.
If you aren't telling a good story, then it's just nobody's going to watch it. It doesn't matter what it's about. If your character isn't good and you don't have, like you said, a good flow to it, and the story isn't in some way, you got to capture them in within the first 15 seconds. I always give it, because you can see on YouTube when they're clicking off of the video.
Exactly.
So there's like a 2 minute. For me, it's like if they're watching for more than 4 minutes, that's a win. If it's under 4 minutes, I'm like, the video's not going nowhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I get better by. You got to get them in there quick, and then just tell a good story. And that is the most important thing for sure is the storytelling part of it. If you're gonna vlog,
yeah.
If it's a review, those are easy to do. They're easy views to get for reviews. But as for me though, it's hard because I don't have one niche. So in a way, I kind of didn't do myself any favors by doing that. But I kind of like my channel. Hard City Raindrops is an exclusive, kind of like a members only. You got to kind of find it underground YouTube
absolutely.
Channel. And I like it like that.
Yeah.
I like it where it's kind of low key. It's like, oh, this guy has everything on there. Where it's not just one thing. I'm not just known for watches or reviewing firearms or knives. And they're out there, and I just feel like that's kind of boring.
Right.
So, like I said in the last one, I have a video of a toothbrush.
Yeah.
On a damn toothbrush. And it did very well. Sometimes I'll go around and mess around with the title.
Yeah.
But it hasn't made it over 10,000, but it's a toothbrush. I mean, 10,000 views on a toothbrush is pretty good.
Right.
Especially if they're organic like that, where it's not really posted really publicly like that.
Yeah, so
10,000 views is a lot for something that's kind of hidden.
So simple, yeah. But I like it. I like my channel. Like, of course, I have goals to make it way bigger than it is.
Sure.
But even then, it's going to take a while. So like I could probably, if I stayed in one thing, I could probably have a lot more subscribers than I do, and get a lot more views if I stayed with just the dog training, because those are my biggest content views as far as views go. But I can only do so many dog training, puppy training. My dog's not a puppy anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
So, unless I get another puppy
Sure.
or start training other people's puppies, which they have offered me. But I don't, that's just not me. I'm just doing things with my dog,
Right,
just,
right.
So, but yeah, for me, it's, I like it to be very like exclusive like that in a way. It's kind of like that. What do you kind of go to like that city and it's just like that underground club. Yeah, it's like a clubhouse, like the Fight Club kind of.
Yeah.
That nobody really knows about, but it's like, you know, it's there.
Yeah.
And then when you find it, it's like, oh man, this is where I'm gonna find the knives and the survival stuff and the bags and the cool cars and everything. You know, anything that's for lifestyle. And it was meant. I had to change it though. I had to change the model of Hard City Raindrops. It was a men's lifestyle. I had to change it to just lifestyle. Because I have a 20% increase in women, which is not a bad thing. I'm not complaining about that. That's great. But it's from the dog videos.
Gotcha.
So I had to kind of, you know, step off the just men stuff and get on to more like a lifestyle to pertain to everyone.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That was pretty cool. That was something it was hard to think about. And I'm like, maybe I should bring a girl in.
Yeah.
You know, to do some videos and stuff. So that's something for the future that I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Also why I stopped doing the podcast because I want a girl co-host.
Okay.
So I'm working on that right now. So
Nice.
That's going to be interesting.
So speaking about girl co-hosting, you introduce your dog into the mix with a lot of your stuff. So how did that pan out? Was this kind of like a lot of what I'm getting is like you're living this actual lifestyle and you're just sharing with everyone, which that's what I like because this is really who you are. It's not kind of like this fabricated, you know, personality or something like that.
Right.
Which reason why I don't mind that you change topics or whatever and kind of enjoy the content in that sense. What made you want to introduce your dog into the videos and now she's just basically a normal part of everything?
Yeah, it's weird because she just kind of like peeks into the videos now and she just becomes like, oh, here's, you know, Storm. Yeah. She's in the video.
Yeah.
So originally I didn't even have any plans to do. I was already a YouTuber when I got her and I didn't have any plans to do puppy training or anything. But I don't even know I guess I was watching videos on it. Yeah. And I was like, I can do this. Yeah. And that's kind of how I got started anyway when I was watching videos and I'm like, wait a minute. Why am I watching this? Where I can do this, and this guy's boring, and I can make it funny and entertaining. Put a little character in it, put a little oomph into it, and people will start to watch the EDC videos. And I have one, not to get off the dog thing, but I have one EDC video that's hilarious. It didn't get a lot of views, but it's still one of my favorites. So I acted like it was an EDC video, but like it was just a shopping plastic bag. And like I like pulled out this huge like fake shotgun out of it, and it went through the back. It was just a joke, but it was funny. Like it had all kinds of just nonsense in it that you would never have, and it was like the plastic bag on like the hockey stick, like the Charlie Brown thing. I don't know, but that was just one of those. I just kind of like to bring a little bit of a joke into it. You know what I mean? But the dog thing, I just started doing the dog training videos, and that video, I can't even believe that video has almost 300,000 views. Wow. It's going to have 1 million by the end of the year for sure, because it just keeps, I think it gets like 50,000 or more a month. Wow. Just that video. So it just keeps going and going and going. I'm like, this video is going to have 1 million views soon. So I have 2 of those dog videos that have almost 300,000. Wow. And then a few more newer ones that I've done recently that are getting right on pace, because I know like when they get 1,000 in a week, they're going to get 2,000 in another week. And then once you get past that threshold, it's like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It goes fast, you know? Yeah. So, yeah, the dog training stuff, it's really been fun. And she's a good dog, but outside of the videos, she doesn't listen very well. Yeah. People don't know that. No, she's a good dog. She's a pit bull, so she has a lot of energy. You know what I mean? Sure. But she listens in the videos, right, which is important.
So we're gonna have on a couple. Well, it's about to be car show season, and we're gonna have a couple of our guests coming on to speak specifically about just cars and working on cars and having project pieces and car shows and car judging and all that good stuff. I know one of the things that me and you talked about is your interest into now incorporating the car world. So explain a little bit about how you want to do that or how you're going to do that, and why.
So the car thing was part of my life for the better part of like 15 years. It's just recently I got out of the auto body industry. I started painting cars when I was 16, when I worked at, you guys remember Go-Go Customs?
Yeah.
That place?
Yep. Yeah.
So I used to run that shop with Kirsch.
Yeah.
You know, from Homegrown.
Yeah, that's right.
Before, he used to hang out there, he turned into Zoom years later. We have so many crazy stories about cars and just that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And not that I want to go back to that Go-Go Customs lifestyle, because that was a little crazy. But just the whole thing about it in general, I miss it, I haven't, it's not about street racing or anything like that. It's just about enjoying the car and, having something that you're passionate about. So I think I'm going to start building cars. I have to get a shop and stuff again. That's down the road farther. But the way I'm bringing it into the channel is, so I've been asking my subscribers if they're, and sometimes I ask, I'm going to do it either way, what they say. But I like to just see how people engage. A lot of times, if they don't answer me, I'm like, okay, they're cool with it. So, but if it does start to take off in a negative way, and it doesn't get a lot of views on my channel, I might start a separate channel for it. So we're just going to have to see how that plays out.
Okay, I see.
But I still think I'm going to still put it in there anyway, just every once in a while. But so the way I'm going to get it started is, and it's probably going to sound ridiculous, but it's we're going to take the channel into an LLC in May after tax season. That's the biggest step forward, and that's just for legal stuff. LLCs are just all just legal. I don't want someone to steal the name. So once it gets into an LLC, I'll be able to get a business loan. So I need to get maybe $110,000.
Okay.
And I'm going to get a Lamborghini Gallardo V10 Squadra Corsa. That's the goal. Whether I get it this year or next year, I'm going to get it. I'm not 100% sure if it's this year.
Okay.
I want it to be this year. It depends on what the revenue is and how hard I hustle at these videos.
Yeah.
Because it's really about what I can make of these videos that I'm going to put out within the summer, what the views are, what the revenue comes in, and can I afford to pay for this freaking car?
Sure.
Which is going to cost me probably close to $600 a month.
Yeah.
Easy. And, I could afford it with just my job. I do pretty well at my job, but I don't want to do that. If it's going to be under the business, I want the business to pay for it. You know what I mean? It's not even be in my name.
Yeah.
But first, we're going to get this little M3 BMW. That's going to be for, I'm buying it in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
So I'm going to start off with that just to get back into the game, start hanging. I know a couple people who have exotic supercars, start hanging out with them guys. I can't pull up in a Honda Civic or my Miss Maisel. I call she's from New York.
I like how we know where she's from.
Listen, Miss Maisel, she's from New York, right? She's a little 97 Ford Ranger.
I love Fords.
Dude, that thing is the best truck I've ever bought. It doesn't leak oil. It didn't rust.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, that truck. But the shock mount in the back broke.
Yeah.
So it has the Ranger lean, heavy Ranger lean. So I got to get that fixed. But I can't pull up to supercar meet with that.
Yeah, for sure.
So at least I have an older M3. It's a respectable to pull up and at least I won't have the car yet, but I can start making videos of the cars, taking rides, and maybe somebody's gonna let me drive the damn car.
Yeah.
But, I'll get your views. You're gonna you're gonna get in the views. I promise. Let me drive your Lamborghini. It's only $200,000.
Well, that's how a guy that we watched, Stradman. I mean, that's how he got basically started. I mean, he had I forget what kind of car he started out with.
It's an Audi TT.
An Audi TT, yeah, that's what it was. He had a decent job and he just bought himself. And this guy, he starts talking, and you could instantly tell his love for cars. Mm-hmm. And so he would go to car shows and just interview guys and whatever.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yo, so what do you want about it? And it was almost like this kid knew more than the car than they did. And it was like people were more fascinated of watching him get so excited that his YouTube channel blew up. And then he got a Lambo, and then he got an R7, and he got whatever the order is. So now he got just all kinds of stuff, and he does everything in purple, and it's cool. He has his own thing.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know him?
Well, no, we watched
You've watched him since
he
first started.
Yeah, okay.
No, I wish.
Got you. Yeah, that'd be awesome to get him. He's from
one
Utah,
day,
so
yeah.
I got you. Yeah, I know
one day
exactly.
we'll
You
have
had the
him on.
purple Hummer and the He's gonna buy a purple Dodge Viper or something like that.
Yeah, or I think he did.
No, he's
he did
on
the Supra.
verge of- he did the Supra.
Okay.
2020 Supra. He's got he's picking up a
badass.
Corvette, like a 2020 Corvette soon.
Mm-hmm.
Like next
Ford
week. It's all,
GT.
it's
that
all
he's-
played
it's crazy.
Yeah.
set up and stuff. Yeah, he's
But it's the same thing. He has a YouTube channel. Like, obviously, it's so the more viewers he gets, so then he's like, it's almost like that's his leverage. If I keep getting views, I'm gonna get another project car.
Yeah.
So then he gets more and more like subscribers, and then it's paying for
I
like
think
his
he has
next
like
project.
9 cars.
And he doesn't get rid of. Well, he started to get rid of them, but if he gets rid of one, it's because he's buying something bigger and better.
Yeah. Right.
And so
To
people
replace
respect
it,
that.
yeah.
They're like, all right, well, whatever, fine, because now we're more interested in what are you gonna do with that. And so,
Yeah, exactly. So,
And with the stuff with like wraps and stuff, how people wrap
oh
their
my
cars,
god, yeah.
he's just having fun with it because they're like, all right, what do you guys? So then he's letting his viewers pick the wrap color
color
or
and
whatever,
stuff.
and so they're just having a blast with it. And then it looks like he has a brand new car,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's taking pictures with it. It's like, dude, he just has fun with it. And if his thing was something with computers, it would be just as entertaining because
Right.
his personality, in my opinion,
I think
is
it's
what
great.
sells
That's a
the stuff.
huge
Absolutely.
thing.
It's
People like. I tell everybody you could do it, but like if you have to have that, like, you just got to have a good personality and be a likable person. You don't have to be like, you can't just it's a Lamborghini and be so dull. You know what I mean? It's very hard. It's harder than people. It's like you could be the most charismatic person on the planet. When that camera comes on, you're just like, and it just kind of, I forget nobody's watching me.
Yeah.
I still think I'm on YouTube.
Yeah, but it's crazy though how he interacts with this camera. Like if you and I were there with him and he's talking, he's like, "Yo, check this out," and he's pointing, and next there's like stuff on the screen that you're like looking it up later on and stuff. And it's so
It's the excitement.
It's the excitement. Like how he goes about the whole thing is freaking awesome.
It's actually a little crazy too, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like you're literally talking to a camera like that.
Yeah, you're talking to
It's like-
yourself, and you're waiting. You already know that there's going to be no response. So he's like, yeah, no, all right, let's just.
What
keep
do you
going with
think?
It's weird, man.
Yeah.
And he
It
pauses.
just-
It's like that weird Mr. Rogers thing, right?
Yeah.
When they said when Mr. Rogers first started out, he would ask a question and pause, and everyone recording in the background in the studio were like freaked out, like this is so bizarre. But just going back to the excitement thing, which I think is important for anyone who's starting to whatever you're starting, be excited about it and share that excitement, because you think about like little kids, right? Why do you get excited? Like if I said like, oh guys, let's all let's walk down the street and all get ice cream, we're gonna be excited. We're like, all right, yeah, I haven't had a sundae in a while. But if you tell a little kid, they're going to be jumping up and down, literally, are you serious? And it's just something as simple
Or
as
nagging.
Yeah. Or I went to an event last night where I was like, it's pretty cool. And my kid could not sit still in a seat of excitement. And what are my eyes doing? I'm literally watching him the whole time because I'm just excited for him.
Yeah, you're like feeding off the
Yeah,
the
and I'm
energy.
just like, dude, look how pumped up he is. It's just crazy.
It's awesome.
And so it's like that feeling is like, that's what you want to give off to your
Yeah,
audience.
you have to, yeah. They get like chills. I have people tell me, like, that video gave me the chills when I talk about, like, it's hard to talk about your failures, but I do it a lot. Like, sometimes I'll be like, whatever the situation is, like, man, I kind of screwed up.
Yeah.
With the whole police academy thing, I have videos about that when I got booted out of there, which was a really tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know how to lie to my subscribers and be like, well, I got kicked. They know how hard I trained for it. I filmed it all.
Yeah.
So then just to be like, well, I didn't make it. Huh? How did you not make it? You had to do something dumb. So I didn't actually do anything dumb. I just admitted to something I did dumb years ago,
Gotcha.
which they didn't like very much at all.
I know we talked about it when we first started, but explain a little bit about the time investment needed for vlogging, and putting these videos and editing and all that stuff, just so someone gets, because you do have a decent following, you have a good amount of subscribers, and obviously you're still getting started, and one day it's just going to take off like that. But explain a little bit about the time investment so people get an understanding, and actually, in my opinion, can appreciate more of what you do.
Well, so if somebody, like, you mean if somebody's trying to get started?
Yeah, because everyone thinks it's like super easy and you could just
Yeah. No, it's going to get harder as hard as you want it to be.
Sure.
So I tell everyone, if you want to start, then just pick up the phone and hit record. And it's really the only way you're going to be able to see if you're into it, if you like it, if you can do it, is if you watch yourself and make a video on whatever you're into. If it's cooking, if it's making muffins, or maybe you like books. If you like muffins, are fantastic. But like books, I've watch the videos on books. I don't even really read a lot. I do a lot of audibles now because I just don't have the freaking time.
Yeah.
But because I do audibles at the gym or whatever. But anything that you're into, just film it and pick it up. So, but once you start getting bigger and then you realize that it might be helpful to maybe get a light, it might be helpful to maybe start cutting things out that you said that were stupid. Or like too much. You say too much. You're gonna start picking up on things. So it's really goes about how much you want to push yourself and learn. Yeah. You know. So it's the sky is the absolute limit with the YouTube and creating content. You could do anything. You could talk about anything. You can be anyone, and anyone can really do it. There's just no limit to it.
Yeah.
And as far as like as I'm now, I'm at just about to hit 7,000. I think when I was here last year, I just hit 1,000 and maybe I had like 1,200.
Yeah.
And that was 1 year. So it's not as much growth as I'd like, but also we're at a time right now where YouTube, it's really hard to get subscribers.
Yeah. It's
tough. You have to be on that grind. And I haven't been as much as I would like to because of my job.
Yeah.
So if for at my stage now, the time you have to really... It is a lot of time. It's 16-hour days, easy, because I'll work an 8-hour day, and then if you're going to make a video, you're at least 4 or 5 hours, to edit, or even if it's just a simple review on a knife. I'm doing a video for an hour and then cutting it up and editing it. And that's just an easy video. That's 2 hours gone. And you still got to eat and do, if you have kids or whatever. So it is a lot of work. It's a lot of, but it's not impossible. But if you want to get started, the easiest way is to just pick up a phone, record, and do that. Even if you just do like I think the biggest thing now is the Instagram stories. Yeah. And they have a YouTube story thing now too, which is cool.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I'm actually going to start spending a little bit more time figuring out how to do the stories on Instagram. Just a quick day vlog, 15, or is it 15? How long is it?
I think it's 15 seconds.
Yeah. Just a real quick 15-second clip of my entire day.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah. So I'm working on that. That's something I'm going to just do for Instagram. I might do those like every day instead of a day vlog.
Yeah.
But that's going to require me still filming myself all day long and then cutting that up into a 15-second video. So if you have 3 hours of film and you're going to make that into a 15-second thing, that's a lot of work. It is a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it isn't impossible, and it's definitely not easy to do anything really, especially if you have a full-time job and you have kids and whatever your case is and situation. But like I said, just pick up a phone and record it and see what you got. Make a 5-minute video, and that's all you got to do.
Yeah. What so you talked a little bit about social media, and then, obviously the growth of it and where it's taken us is, as you said, sky's the limit.
Mm-hmm.
How are you utilizing or leveraging social media now?
I don't actually. The only thing I actually use is once in a while I'll do Facebook. I'll because you get like these little check things, like it's best practice or whatever for YouTube.
Okay.
So it's best practices to up or share it to Facebook or Twitter. You get little checks, and I guess I don't really know what the difference is if you don't, I don't see any difference.
Okay.
Some people do. If you share it to more social media or whatever, you'll get more views. I don't find that to be the case. I find it to be like if you can target people with a catchy title, you have the right tags, and the first 15 seconds captures them, the video is going to go, no matter what. So it doesn't matter if you share it or anything like that. I do try to put it on Instagram when I upload a new video, but, like, hey, new video up. But it doesn't really... I thought that my Instagram would drive traffic, but it doesn't really work like that for me. I don't know. Okay. Maybe it's something I'm doing wrong. But yeah, I don't really use it a whole lot. I just kind of focus on getting the tags right, getting the title right, and then I'll like worry about if it needs to go on Facebook and share it or anything like that, or Instagram, or I don't even have a Twitter anymore. So, but if you need to share it to Twitter, but they do give you like this whole best practices like check mark thing.
Okay.
And you can, but I don't see how it works at all. The biggest thing for me is they give you like when you write the title out, it tells you if it's good or not and how many people are typing that into Google.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's really a helpful tool because if it's below like good, I won't even use it. I'll change the title. And you have to go back and check them because it changes. People stop typing that in after a few months, and you change it around, it goes back to excellent. And I'm like, oh, change the title.
Nice.
I do that a lot, and then the videos will get like 20,000 more views and stuff. So in like a week, 2 weeks, so it helps.
So how many videos do you have out on YouTube?
287.
Nice.
About right now, maybe like 290, pushing 300.
Yeah.
It's not a 300 yet, I know that, but it's close.
Gotcha. All right, cool. So what can people expect for the rest of 2020? I'm looking forward to you getting a Lambo.
That's going to happen. But so the biggest thing that happened this last year was 1 million views. I crossed the 1 million. I have 1,110,000 views all together.
Okay, cool.
I mean, it sounds awesome, but I need one video to have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's the goal for 2020 is to get that million view. One of these videos that I have are going to get it, but I need it to happen in like a week or a month. So I need a viral video. I don't need it. It doesn't have to be a thing, but that's what I want. That's the goal. I'm going to work really hard to get that. I haven't before because I was kind of just like, well, if I get 200,000, I'm good. That's going to feel nice.
Yeah.
And then I got that, and then it's like 200,000-300,000. I'm like, okay, it's time to take it up to the next level. So it's the same thing. You pick up the phone, and it's like, okay, maybe now I need to get a camera. So it's, So for me now, I'm at the level where it's like I need that million views because that's how I'm going to get the car. But I'm going to also start doing auto vlogs before I have the car with, the Beamer, and interviewing people who have cool cars already. That's kind of how I'm going to get my foot back into that door, and then hopefully, so it's more like 2020 is it's short. The year is going to go by fast.
Yeah.
I had goals for this year that I realized that it just wasn't feasible.
Yeah.
Because, I'm the kind of guy who used to be like, set your goals low because when you pass them, you'll get more confidence. But that's not how. Now I'm just like, you know what? Nah, that's not going to cut it no more. Now I'm just going to go right to the top. I don't even care.
Yeah.
It's the Lambo. It's the million views. It's the million subscribers. But 1 year is going to go fast. So so it's more like I think 2021 more or less because we're already three months into the year.
Yeah.
I want to get a shop, which is more or less like a whole big studio where I can pull cars in, where I can make videos on reviews, where I can make building things, dog videos, whatever I want to do, just one big shop. And that's kind of where the channel's going to go from here in the future. So get out of the little room studio and make an actual like studio where I can like run through a wall if I wanted to, build like props.
Props.
Like a prop. Yeah. So like do like props or stuff. Like
what was that show, Big and Rob, where the dude Rob Big, where he has like that skate park inside that warehouse. And stuff
so like
that.
Stuff
like that. That was freaking
like something
so
like
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
But like I don't really do skateboarding. I don't want to get hurt.
Right? Yeah. No.
But like I could maybe like drive the Lamborghini through a wall or something.
Yeah.
And like that would be a catchy video, I guess. Drive Lambo through a wall.
Right.
Although it was a fake wall and everybody's going to know that, but it's still... now they will. But no, you know what I mean. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Just kind of like, to create content, there's a difference between the vlogs where you're just kind of like going about my daily life. And then there's the creating part, which is it's two different things. So you got to kind of figure out what that is, tell a good story for the vlogs, and then creating just, hey, whatever you feel like doing. So even like I want to have because we're in a barber shop. I was even thinking I want a barber chair in there, and just have like a barber come, or even a tattoo guy come and have a tattoo area and just everything.
Yeah,
anything that's cool.
Yeah,
so that's what we want in this place.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what the future of the channel is, my idea, and nothing's gonna change as far as the channel goes. And even when we get that, it's just gonna be bigger.
Yeah.
And I'd like to get maybe like a team together. Another camera. So things are getting bigger now. I'm getting more views, getting more subscribers. I think I do like 300 or 400 a month on average.
Nice.
And unless I do like a week like this. So I already did 3 videos today, or 2, and 1 yesterday. So technically 3 because they're all coming out today. If I do a week like this where it's every day a video or 2, this week I'll probably get like 500 subscribers or this month.
Sure.
So it'll It's all depends on how much content you put out too.
Yeah.
Because the more you put out videos, the more people will see your face on YouTube's
on the recommended
on their recommended page. If you put out a video once a month or whatever, like maybe you'll get seen.
Yeah.
But if you constantly upload videos, like that's why people like Jake Paul and PewDiePie and all these guys get so big in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because they would make content all the time, and YouTube was as big as it was. That's all you seen.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
them. And now it's like, so now you have to like really hustle hard because everybody's putting out videos every day.
Yeah.
I mean, people with 5 kids are doing vlogs, and I don't know how they do it. I really don't. It's nuts. Even the monetization, like to get the ads to generate ad revenue, is impossible. They even took the toy thing. We talked about that last time.
Yeah.
They demonetized all those videos even.
Wow.
So it's like this
because
whole
they get strict with the certain kinds of languages and certain like
this whole age restricting thing, and I have to do it with all my videos now too. It's really hard to actually make it like a lifestyle where you can do it full time, because that's also a goal too.
Yeah.
Since we're on that, I don't want to be working 7 days a week at a job and doing this. I just want to do YouTube full time.
Yeah. Sure.
So I'm working towards that, but it's so free. Like people think that it's, oh man, these YouTubers make so much money. Like you don't. I make a little bit, but like not enough to leave my day job.
Yeah.
You know, it's just enough to where I can get like something cool once a month, you know, towards the channel. Definitely not enough to get a Lamborghini. Yeah.
Sure.
So which is why like even my accountant, and he does my taxes, and he was like, we can do it. You can get the car now. You want the loan, we can get it.
Yeah.
You know, you make enough money at work where you can just get the damn car.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
But that's a really terrible idea, you know. So,
so make it a business expense.
make it a business expense. Get it as a tax write-off at the end of the year. Although that's not going to help, like really do a whole lot. But as far as the maintenance goes, the tires and all that stuff, everything can go towards the tax write-off and the business expense. So once the channel gets to that point to where it's even like close to being able to afford that car a month, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's going to be pretty neat. And like, it doesn't have to be the Gorlato. It has to be a V10.
Yeah.
For one. Otherwise, I can't get into that supercar class. You know, because there's a V8 isn't a supercar. It's got to be the V10. And the Gorlato V10 is the Squadra Corsa, I believe. I think there might be another one too. But, you know, it's a 04 is the one I'm after.
Yeah.
And they're super cool. They're so cool.
Yeah.
They sound awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I think they have supercharger too. They're just they're beautiful cars. But if I go ahead and get a V8 one, it's just like kind of like, you know.
Right.
You're not really, you know.
You're not really getting what you want.
No, it's you
kinda
can't
sick.
get into that area. You got to have the V10.
Yeah.
But it could be like Ferrari, but they're too expensive. You know,
Sure.
they're like, even the used ones are 140, you know, and they're just too much money to even. I don't know a whole lot about Ferraris. I know a little bit more about Lambos as far as the bodywork goes, the way they come apart, and stuff like that. So even if I get one that's crashed, typically not in the back where the engine is, maybe it's one in the front, I could fix it as long as the bumper's not wrecked, because they're like 10 grand for a bumper for some of these cars. So hopefully, like, if it's the one I can fix, I can deal with and make video on it and make the money back anyway. So, you know, it's going to be a pretty interesting ride. Everybody I tell to, I feel like it's like, man, I feel like I'm just talking to, like, people are going to think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
I was telling a girl this not long ago. She's like, sports cars are dumb. I'm like, it's not a sports car. Like, there's a big difference between a sports car and a freaking V10 Lamborghini. I used to have a S2000 back in the day. Yeah. And I missed that car, but like, that's a sports car. Right. This is a whole nother. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to working hard to just get there and challenging myself, because like, even like telling myself like, I want a Lamborghini and I'm gonna do this, you know. And that's not the only thing I want too. It's the shop, it's the whole premise and the business model of the channel, what it's gonna be in the future is something I want. So it's not just about the car. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, it's the whole lifestyle. Because going back to this guy, you keep saying with this car, and I keep thinking about this dude. He built the house. Basically, it was a garage. So it's a garage, like a 4-bay garage or something like that on the bottom, and he lives on the second floor.
Yeah, see, that would be ideal.
Yeah, and it's like
awesome.
So he wakes up and goes downstairs, and there's his show basically.
Yeah, so that's
just
like it's weird because I never watched that. I watch a lot of DDE, Daily Driven Exotics, and Wrangler Star. Those are my two favorites.
Yeah.
And I've never seen that, but we had like the same idea. Actually, the guy that I got the idea from originally was like a construction guy.
Yeah.
He has something, and he does a lot of engineering, or like not engineering, but he just designs stuff. He like makes tables and just all kinds of different cool stuff in this huge garage space that has like awesome these CNC machines and all this cool stuff. And he just lives upstairs. And there's cameras. It's like a studio, but it's awesome. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's where I want to get. I want to get a really nice camera too. Like this one's good, but I want to get a much better one this year.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool.
And a few GoPros. We're gonna need them.
A few GoPros. Yeah,
you got to have them for the car.
Yeah.
You got to have them. I put them on the Ranger. It'd be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
See a little lean. I'm gonna have to. Turn the camera a little bit.
All right, so I mean, we talked about your recommendation to folks getting started. Obviously we talked about work-life balance. Is there any closing remarks that you want to leave everyone with? And then obviously once again the name of your channel and your podcast.
Just like. You just gotta for if you want to be an influencer, you have to not be able to take things to heart. Sure. People are gonna say things. People are gonna look at you funny. I'll go food shopping. I'll make a food shopping vlog.
Yeah.
And I'll look like a total weirdo just walking down the aisle with this camera and this thing.
Yeah.
And just you a YouTuber? I'm like, obviously. Like people always ask. They know what I'm doing, but people are gonna look and they're gonna you're going to think nobody really cares what you're doing, right. To be honest with you. Nobody cares.
They don't.
If you've seen, you got to think about it like this. If you've seen somebody walking down, they're like, that's cool. I wish I was doing that. Right. I wish I had the guts to do that because that takes a lot. So just remind yourself of that if you're going to get started. Nobody cares, and just keep doing your own thing. And that's kind of it. That's my closing remark.
I like it.
Hard City Raindrops is the YouTube channel.
Yes.
And Hard City Cafe is my Instagram.
Nice. And
that's it. That's the two main things. You find a lot of pictures of me and the dog, different video stuff.
Nice. All right, so there you have it, folks. We like to close things out with quotes, and the first one is by Orison Marden. The golden rule for every businessman is this: put yourself in the customer's place. And the second one by Tom Abbott. It's not just about being better, it's about being different. You need to give people a reason to choose your business. Hard City Raindrops Part 2. In this episode, we have special guest Wyll. We cover topics that range from vlogging, captivating content, side hustles, a balanced life, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Orison Marden and Tom Abbott. Awesome. Guys, thanks again for joining us. The Rotated Views podcast was produced for self-development purposes. Huge shout out to our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the Blessed Lifestyle brand. That is BL3SSED.com. Also sponsored by The Motivation Files Unleashed. This motivational mixtape will be your fuel for success. Available on all platforms. Guys, don't forget to visit the website, JimmyleeVelez.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Rotated Views. If you have any inquiries or questions, email us at info@JimmyleeVelez.com. On behalf of myself and the rest of the crew, we wish you massive success. Stay blessed.